Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Everything Spice. My name is Tanya. Yes, you see my face today because it's a special day, my friends. It is Good Friday. Yeah, it is. And Good Friday is very special to Catholics. Now, I was born a Catholic. My mother and father were Catholics. I'm a Protestant now. But I still love the tradition of making this recipe. And this recipe is called hot cross buns. And everybody, who's anybody, who bakes and who celebrates this commemorative day will make this today. So I am doing a traditional thing because I love doing traditions. And this wasn't something that my mother made, but she would buy it in the store. So what I'm using the recipe is the joy of cooking, baby. Yeah. Because when it comes to cooking and baking, this is the authority, man. This is the encyclopedic of cooking and baking. Anything and everybody, I mean, I'm telling you right now, is in this book. Anything, baking, cooking. If it ain't in here, it probably was not invented yet. I'm just saying. And they have different revisions because this is going back to like what, the 1930s maybe, perhaps, when it first started. And the family has still in it. They're still making these different books. I have the latest edition, but I wanted to go back to the old ones. And I'll tell you what, this is a great gift to give like a wife, a single person, because let me tell you something. There is a whole other world beyond the cereal bowl. Just saying. And this will teach you where the adventures of cooking. This will teach you the adventures of cooking. So I'm going to use the recipe that's in here. And basically it's a Parker roll recipe that is, in addition, you know, the additional ingredients will be the currants and stuff that goes in it. But I'll let you know along the way. So I'm going to get my apron on, but first I want to show you what I have here. What I have in this bowl. Bring you to the bowl. Bring you to the bowl. Love you too, honey. What I have here is a cup of warmed milk with a pinch of sugar, because milk, sugar, and yeast, 2 1/4 teaspoons or a package of yeast. And I would use the active yeast, not necessarily the quick yeast for this. So I warmed up the milk in the microwave for 30 seconds. I added it to the bowl. I added 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast to this. We zhuzhed it up with my Mickey Mouse thing here. And then what I added was 2 tablespoons of butter. So that's in the bowl right now. Okay, warming up, getting happy, okay, doing all that. And then what I'm gonna add to this right now, before I get my stuff on, is 1/4 of a cup of sugar. Because sugar and yeast just like each other. They're happy friends. They're happy friends. Now remember, salt goes in here as well. I'm going to do a pinch of salt to this. I got my salt here. I'm going to put it in. But I'm going to let this foam up and get happy together first, because salt at first can be a frenemy of yeast. Yeast will be killed by salt if it goes in right away. So usually what I do is I wait until the flour goes in first, gives it some time to incorporate, and then I add the salt. I mean, add any salt to it. That way nothing bad happens, because we don't want nothing bad to happen when we work this hard, right, friends? I'm telling you. And this is a totally delicious way to offer gifts to people that you care about. I mean, because it's so giftable, let's face it. When you have this beautiful recipe, you want to give it to other people. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm baking this, but I'm also giving it away. And you know who you are, right, Jen? Right, Ashley? Yes, we're going to be getting some hot cross buns today and Everything Spice. So join me on the other side for hot cross buns on Good Friday. All right, I'm back. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I got this all ready, as I told you before. So what I have to do here, I have the cinnamon in here, like about 2 or 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. I have the flour, which is like 3 1/2 cups of flour in here, okay? What I'm also gonna do is zhuzh together some nutmeg. So the spices that I'm using are cinnamon and nutmeg. And sugar and spice and everything nice. Can't go wrong. So I'm using my grater, and I'm grating in the nutmeg. And you can buy nutmeg and just put a couple of teaspoons in, or a teaspoon of it. I would say more or less a teaspoon. I won't go any crazier than that, but this is fresh. Come in. And I love it because the freshness. Nothing says holiday like a nutmeg. Nutmeg, baby. I love it. Love it. And this is the start of the holiday seasons again, right? What goes around comes around. Isn't that what they say? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. All right, so this is it. This is nutmeg. and I'm going to incorporate all of the seasonings into the flour versus letting it just sit there, because some might have it, some might not. We want everything to be well incorporated when we're doing this. So mix it in, baby. And then what I'm doing is I have a cup of currants. Now currants are different than raisins. They're the smaller family member, you know what I mean? Like big raisin, small raisin, you know? Little John, Big John, that type of thing. Well, this is the junior of the family. See what I mean? They're smaller, more plump, I would say. See right here? Smaller version of raisins. But if you only have raisins, use them. Use what you got. Don't go crazy and go out in the store and buy these. But I just so happen to have them because I got a well-stocked pantry, my friends. And a well-stocked pantry, you can make anything at any time. So that's what I would highly recommend. Having that well-stocked pantry. So when you want to quickly whip something up, you actually have it in your kitchen. You don't have to keep going to the store all the time for it. All right, so I'm going to incorporate. Let me show you what I mean. See, I'm incorporating all of that. And the reason I'm incorporating the raisins or the currants now is because if I do it afterwards, what might happen to it is it doesn't incorporate properly, and then it'll sink to the bottom of the bun, and there'll be raisins on the bottom and no raisins throughout. So if you want raisins throughout the whole product that you're having, whether it's muffins, whether it's, you know, and this could go for whether it's muffins or whether it's buns or yeast spreads or whatever, I recommend putting it into the flour, and the flour keeps it suspended inside so that it's not dropping to the bottom and you have all the fruit of whatever kind on the bottom. You could do it with blueberries, fresh blueberries, you know, raisins, whatever fruit you're using. If you put a little bit of flour in it, it'll suspend it where it won't go to the bottom. Just a tip, you know, raspberries, whatever it is. It's what's always worked for me. So I'm just giving you what works for me. But this is science, right? Because this is baking now, so we don't play. So what I'm doing here, let me see what else I gotta do. I gotta put an egg in. Now I'm gonna put the egg in this mixture, not in this mixture. So let me zhuzh it up, but if it falls in there, I have a place to fall instead of all over my kitchen counter or oven. I know, you see me doing a lot of work on my oven, right? It's useful. What can I tell you? It's useful. Love it. All right, so we're gonna put the egg in, and the mixture's already not warmed anymore, so we won't worry about scrambling. You know how I love to scramble everything. I'm always completely concerned about scrambling if you watch my show. All right, so we got the egg. Let me see what else I need. I got the, all right. So it's 2 teaspoons of butter softened that went in to this. 1 teaspoon of sugar, but because we're making the hot cross buns, they recommended 1/4 of a cup of sugar versus the 1 teaspoon. All right, and then we have the 3/4 teaspoon of salt that went into the flour. I put it in the flour, like I said, because I don't like any opportunity for it to kill the yeast. I don't want any opportunity taken for that. So then what we did with that is the water and the yeast, we got that. I already told you about that. The 1 egg we put in here, and yeah, I gave you everything. I don't need to give you anything more. That's it for this. Let's stop setting it up and putting it together, my friends. That's all we're gonna do. That's all we're gonna do. So take the mixture and we're gonna add it. We're gonna add it to this versus the other way around. So it all goes in just like that. That's as simple or as hard as it gets. Then we're just going to mix it in, and I do this, but you can use your stand mixer, but I'm doing it by hand today. I know, I'm living dangerous like that. All right, just fold it in, mix it in, stir it in, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're doing. And then we're going to get into the mixing of it, which means the kneading of it, because you're going to need this. You gotta get your hands in there and get dirty. But I'm not doing that until I get my gloves on. So let me come back and I'll show you what that looks like. Stay with me. Okay, so like I said, let's get to kneading. I'm gonna start it in the bowl and then work it on the board. Now, this flour, the 2 cups of bread flour that I put in, is going to give it more of that gluten. It has a lot more of the gluten, so it makes it more of a stretchier. It makes it more of a, I don't know what you call it, like elasticity. Yeah, we're using words here. We're using big words here today and everything spice. I know. All right, so we're gonna put that into a bowl like that, and then we're gonna put it on the board. But if I've always said this though, and I know that bacon's a science, but if you don't use, you don't use the bread flour, it's not gonna turn to garbage. It's gonna have a different texture, that's all. I just like bread flour. I have a lot in my house, so I gotta use it somewhere, and yeast rolls, yeast breads is where I'm gonna shine with it. You know what I mean? That's where it shines. Any type of rolls, any type of bread, you can use it. But if you don't have it, use all-purpose flour. That's fine. Okay, we're working the dough, and I know it's kind of like a sensory thing. I don't like to use my nails because I could work so hard on manicuring my own nails. Manicuring, meaning they're real nails, but I don't want to I hate getting anything in between them. So I do my own and I paint my own nails, and I don't like the mess that happens with them. So when you work hard on your nails, you know what I'm saying, ladies. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we're gonna zhuzh this up just a bit to incorporate some elasticity in it, some gluten. Stretch it out a little bit, work the dough, not too much, but it is a bread. So I know it's rolls and stuff. It's a little different than your quick breads in the sense of you don't need to use this much force. But because of the fact that you want to incorporate all of the currants, you want to make sure that this dough is really nice and soft and supple. And believe it or not, by kneading it, that actually takes place, that happens. It gets the nice soft dough that you're looking for these buns. And look at it, it's already incorporating all the currants are going throughout. Look how pretty that is. That's gonna be a beautiful, spiced, speckled delightfulness called, look at that, called hot cross buns. And when you stretch it, see, it's starting to work the dough where the gluten is starting to formulate on that, right? The gluten's starting to work on here. So I'm not gonna get you too much. I mean, I'm not gonna keep you too long because I know you guys like shorter videos. But what I do is I take this, push it away. Take it, push it away. Take it, push it away. I'm gonna do it for a few more minutes till it gets to a little bit of a softer consistency. And then I have my glass bowl cleaned and greased with some cooking spray. Push it on each side so that way, it's not dry. Cover it with a tea towel, plastic wrap tea towel, whatever. What I like to do is to put it in the oven, not when it's warmed, but when the oven light is on. But since my oven is on right now, what I'm gonna do is just keep it on the counter for about an hour and a half until it rises, and then we'll come back and we'll shape these beautiful hot cross buns, baby, on Everything Spice. Stay with me. All right, I'm back. 350 degrees, I'm setting up the oven, and look at this. Now, this took more than just an hour. This has been a few hours, actually, but that's because I had to go to work. But look, ooh, delicious. And the smell is probably gonna go crazy. Oh, my word. Oh, smell it, smell it. It's so spiced and delicious. I love it. Okay, now we're gonna, look, see? I'm gonna put it here. Punch it down because you don't want the air. And then we're gonna divvy this out. All right, so what we're gonna do is I got this here, and we're gonna divvy it out. As many as we need. And I'm thinking a good amount would be like 12. So what you do is this, we take them, right? Take them, go like this. Like that, right? Take it and fold it under. Fold it under, just like that, right? Just like that. Folding it under, like this. Take it And by doing that, you're shaping it into the buns that you need. So keep going. And then, and if you don't like see the way you want it, flatten it out and try it again. Fold it under itself. That makes the perfect buns, just like that. And we're gonna rise them again. So we're not done yet. We're not going into the oven, but we're setting it up. Just like that. This makes the perfect spiced bun. I'll do one more, just to give you an idea. Flatten them out, then fold them underneath themselves. Just like that. Fold them underneath themselves. Just like this, see? Okay. Fold it underneath itself. And then roll them on the board. And that shapes them into, we're not like pressing, very lightly. We're cupping it, okay? Cupping it. And this rolls it into the shape that we're looking for. Cup it, just like that. And look at that. Voila. All right, and then we're gonna put them on here. I got a greased glass bowl. I'm gonna put all 12 of them on here, and then I'm gonna cover them with a tea towel or a towel like this, or plastic wrap, whatever you got, and then I'm gonna let them rise for about an hour. The oven's gonna be set at 350, and then we're gonna be good to go, okay? Stick with me. We're at the home stretch on Everything Spice. All right, here we go. This is about, look at this, an hour or two in, more than an hour. And look at my beauties, baby. Look at these beauties. Hot cross buns. Aren't they delicious? Aren't they? Aren't they? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And they're fluffy. So what we got is an egg wash. Ken, egg wash. What is egg wash, Ken? Come on now. Tell me what egg wash is. You know. It is an egg and water. That's right. You're good. Good job, Ken. Good job. All right, so what we're gonna do is we got our brush with our egg wash. Brush, brush, brush. No, here we go. And we're gonna gently brush this because they have risen perfectly. Now, if you press down too much, guess what's gonna happen? Anybody? Yes, they will deflate. And you don't wanna do that after waiting all this time to get these beauties to get where they are. So I'm just gonna brush them up with this egg wash as gently as possible, but making sure that I get every little bit of it because this is what's gonna make them nice and golden brown and delicious. So paint, my friends, this is where your artistic skills can really shine because they're gonna shine, right? No pun intended, right? Just gonna make them shine. And you can double the recipe too if you have a lot of people that you want to gift these to. I have people in mind. Jan, as I mentioned, Ashley. I seen them today and as I was walking over here. Yeah, so these are gonna be as gifts too. And you know who you are. Jan, Ashley, yep, I seen them when we were walking today on the road. My neighbors, friends. I told them about these hot cross buns and they're excited. So here they are. Here they are, Jan. Here they are, Ashley. These are the hot cross buns. And they are beauteous. And these are going to go into a 350-degree oven until golden brown. Could take an hour, could take less. I don't know. It just depends on your oven. If you have a convection oven, could be faster. A gas oven, it could be faster. I have an electric oven, so we'll see. And the last of it is sugar, 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 sugar. I'm gonna put some sugar on there. And that's gonna make it nice and shiny and purty. And have that nice sheen that happens when you put a little bit of sugar on top. Or a lot of sugar on top, whatever. This is where you don't have to worry about it because it's not inside. It's not gonna make a difference if you put a little bit more sugar than normal. But I like it sweet. Yeah. All right, so here we go. Look how pretty these are. Look at that. Look at that. 350. I'm going to say, check it in a half hour, turn it, and then see what happens. When they get golden brown and puffed even more, believe it or not, that's when we're going to take it out. All right, this is it, the finale. And it was only a half hour, believe it or not, not even a half hour, and these came out. But look at these beauties. Let me show you. I'm so excited. Look at these beauties. Aren't they gorgeous? Yes, they are. Golden and delicious, but we're gonna make them even better. I got me some butter, because butter makes it better. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put butter all over these beauties. And I know we're frosting them. That's true. But, so what? Come closer, man. Look at that. So this is what I do, and this softens the tops of them so that they're not so hard. Because you don't really want, you're not looking for crusty, you're looking for soft and delicious. And this butter actually softens them up. If you don't use the butter, you're gonna have a crustier top, just so you know. All right, let me bring them over closer, closer. All right, here we go. And then you just, ooh, 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 yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, and these are perfect. Oh my God, they're so good looking. I love them. Okay, so the butter is done. Done. Now, here we go. Now, what I did was, in advance, I made icing. And this is gonna go on top to make the cross. When my mom used to make icing, this is like the exclusive frosting of, you know, my mother's cakes. We'll call her Miss Maureen's cakes. And how she would do it is she would just use water, vanilla extract, and powdered sugar. That was her frosting for everything. She didn't like the store-bought frostings, and can't say I blame her. But she loved this, and it was just butter and that. I added a little cornstarch to mine. I read it somewhere. You know those, what are those? Those cinnamon buns. You ever see those cinnamon buns that are in a can? Well, in the cinnamon buns in a can, they say in order for you to make that same type of frosting, which is absolutely fantastic, you use butter, powdered sugar, and cornstarch. And cornstarch. What did I just say? Caitlin, what did I just say? Butter, powdered sugar, and corn syrup. What the heck? Did I say cornstarch? I didn't put cornstarch in this. If I said cornstarch, I'm going to look at this and edit this. And if I said cornstarch, I did not mean cornstarch. This has got... Did I say cornstarch when I originally said it? Kayla, do you remember? You don't know? All right, so what is in this? Let's do this all over again. What is in this is butter, about 2 tablespoons of butter that I microwaved, about 1.5 cups, or maybe close to 2 cups now, of powdered sugar. Powdered sugar, sugar. Water, just enough to make it thin it out, but it's also got corn syrup in it. So I put a couple of zhuzhes of corn syrup in it. And corn syrup, let me give you what that is. Corn syrup, not cornstarch. If I said cornstarch, please. No. And then and then vanilla extract, like 1/2 cup. So then we just mix it in until we get this consistency. This consistency, yeah. That's good. I would say that's good. I don't know, maybe a little thicker. I might play with this a little bit to get it thicker. So let me see. But I'm not going to keep you on the horn for this. Well, then we're going to make crosses, X's on each one. You got to let this cool down just a bit, because if you put the X's in now, what'll happen is they'll just melt. So let me bring you back after this cools a bit. All right, so I'm back. Now what I did was I had extra frosting and I just painted it on. Now you can do that if you don't want to do the cross, right? You can just make it like that. Say you're not Christian and you just want to frost. So you can just frost them like this, right? Paint it on. And then you have these beautiful hot cross buns with frosting on it. But I didn't want to waste my frosting, and that's the reason I did that. So I'm going to paint them on, and then I'm going to do the crosses now. But you really have to wait until the hot cross buns are like cooled enough, because otherwise it's just going to make a huge mess. So this is a mess right there. So And they melted fast because obviously the hot cross, you know, the buns. They melted fast because the buns are really warmed. But let's try it. I put it in a squeegee, however you do that. I had a little funnel and then I put it in. But this is a icing squeegee. So this is what I'm going to do. So you just take it, squeeze, and make a cross, of course, just like that. See what I mean? Show you what I'm doing. Just across. And that's all you do. So you have to have, that's why I had to have the icing thick enough that I could do that. Now, if it's too hot, what'll happen is it will not stick. So that's why you gotta wait. Wait until all of them are done. You can use a lot of frosting, you can use a little frosting, or none at all. Like I said, if you don't want to do a cross, you don't have to do it. But this is what it looks like. And you make them all the way across. Talk about puns. I'm using a lot of cross analogies here. There we go. So just finish it up. Finish strong. And you can go over them afterwards if you have extra icing. I just didn't want to run out of icing, so. But that's what it looks like, right? Like that. It's just really simple. But the steps you have to take. Just like that, baby. And you have hot cross buns. And they're so good and so giftable. They're coming your way, ladies. They're coming your way. And that's all we do. All right, listen, this is gonna be beautiful. Oh my goodness, so perfect. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And that's as simple or as complicated as you can make it. That's it. Hot cross buns on Good Friday. Check. And if you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you, please like and subscribe and join me next time for Everything Spice. Have a wonderful Good Friday, everybody. Be safe.